we're about to get into the game. How are you feeling now that you've seen the maps? Again, not really any surprising picks in there, but Inferno, I think that could be an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like all up in the air for me. Even for Mirage here, which is Bad News Bears map pick, they've played it. Obviously, this event, they've looked okay on it. They've lost the game. They've won a game, I believe. But maybe it comes back to maybe they don't have necessarily a good map to play here. A little bit more in the unknown. We start this off with Leash just running up in mid.
Oh, the flex from Liquid. They're not giving any room or respect. BNB was setting up a run boost and Elige knocks the bottom out. 4-on-1. Spongy just trying to avenge anyone at this point. Grim's backed out. He's not going to be offering up a kill, but the rest of Liquid are feisty. They're hungry and they'll take it. Stewie with a close and Liquid. Okay, Harry, that's more of what you wanted, right? Just a bit of a statement pistol round, a push to the top of middle. No respect.
Yeah, everyone's facing, everyone's fighting, full confidence, full faith. They win it convincingly. And now they can get off to a good start here on Mirage. So this is right up the alley of Team Liquid.
I just want to add as well, from looking at those cams there after that pistol round occurred, you can see who the real gamers are on this team. You've got Fallen there in the dark, Grim in the dark, Monitor Tan lights off. Love to see that.
Well, even one more shout here, actually, maybe potentially. Sure, Liquid has spent a lot of time in Europe, but they decide to play this event from their homes. North American RMR. They're all spread across the US rather than playing from the Liquid facility.
Good on Liquid as well. I say, you know, having them. I think they were given a bit of time to go and do some stuff just before this. If I remember reading on Twitter, right? They had a bit of spare time because, you know, they've been on the road for a long time. I think it's important that Oaks recognize that, right?
Absolutely, and I think that's really the problem we find ourselves in now, right? In the shape with NA, where these EG and Liquid, and I guess maybe the others that would be competitive enough, would spend a lot of time in Europe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
they were even nice enough to give Moses a permanent holiday. So. I get to make that joke. He's my friend.
Yeah, just so early, round 2, and you're already slaying.
He'll be watching, just needlessly brutal. He knows the rules.
No one is sacred. Nothing is sacred, especially not Stewie. Getting 1-deeged. And maybe a chance to make this round interesting. B is free, and Nafly's realized by running up the cat side, he's going to hear the feet pittering and pattering, and he shouldn't be able to cross, that being Swisher. 1 bullet, and Naf's got it.
3 alive, stable 2 first rounds here. And yeah, you mentioned Richard. It's still only 5:35 here in SoCal, so for Stewie, the sun's still out.
I want him to have artificial darkness. Get those.
That's what Fallen's been doing.
Put up.
Yeah, that's what Fallen has, because obviously Fallen's also. Actually, I think Fallen's playing from Mexico. Fun fact, potentially. Might be wrong with that. Fallen only sees said 75 in an armor, saving himself some money for the AWP for next round, and full save here from Bad News Bears, some Deagles, PT50s, but not looking at potentially winning a round here. If you're T's, you're looking at doing some sort of damage to the economy for the CTs, but not going to happen. 5 alive. Great first start here for Liquid. We'll be seeing the first weapon round now.
Yeah, they look very focused. They look very channeled in. That's a good sign. I'm interested to see whether these gun rounds are going to be going. Yeah, I wondered if PTR was going for the knife. He was jumping through connector with his blade out, but only an eco. Here's the gun round. PTR, no armor on his AWP. Fallen's got his after that CZ save, and so this is going to be fun.
Ooh, bit of attention given towards the B site from John G. And most of the other Bad News Bears kind of spreading out, right? Taking this default 2 over towards Palace. Lots of noise made in the apartments, but I don't imagine this is where you're looking to end up here. You'll see these apps players rooting in through lower. Bomb's still dropped back in T-spawn, and so they're just spreading out, trying to take this map control right now. They are going to get a hold in middle. Right, PTR's AWP able to lock down this area.
Late mid flash, look at Elige, he's going through, but he doesn't see anything. They just retake middle as Elige leaves. That's misinformation. Liquid gonna rotate their mid player out, move Stewie to B, reinforce it, but nothing wrong with that with what looks like a B play right now. Top con smoke, Elige playing ahead of it. This is perfect, but he's been caught and he still kills Spongy. They're trying to get up catwalk. They don't need to get too hyper focused on Elige, who is not giving them the time of day. They're gonna have to reroute 20 seconds into B, and the bomb's loose. Stewie's got the kill. He does get traded from Apps. Naf wasn't covering, he was mollied out, and there's a double entry into the B site. Naf needs to hold strong. That he has done. 15 on the clock, and Nafly, one more shot to Jonji would spell his end. He's got it. PTR or Pout can't hit the close shot, and Naf is just playing with him right now. Oh my god, the pistol execution from Naf, and 3 in the round finds 4 on the board for Liquid.
Yeah, what was that?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, a bit weird there, but we said it before. It's first map. It takes a while to get warmed up. We see the vibe bet odds there as well on the screen. Liquid clear favorites here. And another eco slash half buy for Bad News Spares, heading over to that A bomb site. Plenty of nades though. Minimum requirement is bomb plant with this kind of buy. It's not gonna happen.
Oh my god, let's hope the game doesn't keep up like this. Or maybe let's hope it does. Like, that would give me some faith in Liquid, but I am still expecting Bad News Bears to show up here in some capacity. They really impressed all of us, I think, in the previous stage. Only fielding a loss to Pain, who have proven their worth, not just going through, phase 2 flawless, but also beating EG in their opener.
Still, though, I would rather it takes, these teams from phase 2 rising to the challenge than, versus a shaky-looking team. Right? I'm very, very happy with what we're getting out of Liquid. I've seen too many tournaments start slow for this squad.
And finish at the same. Fallen's, he's fast right now. He is very fast. Back-to-back 2Ks. Liquid locking it mid out. Closing the door on the face of the Bears. And, I mean, T-side 3v5, no matter the map, you're in for a rough time. You've got to hope that someone goes nuclear here. Get that spoon, put it in the microwave while you still can.
It's forks. Spoons don't generate enough. They don't have the prongs, so they don't generate enough nuclear
The prongs.
energy.
Ah, okay. I was more looking at the surface area, Richard.
This is all elementary physics. No. That's a common misconception.
Ah.
Microwave physics. You want multiple contact points rather than a large surface area. Harry knows all about this.
Yeah, no, Richard's nailing it. And honestly, Hugo, I'm shocked that you haven't been paying more attention to the practical experiments we've been doing.
I wonder why I can smell burning.
No, that's just Harry thinking.
Cogs whirring.
Whirring alive. And then it starts to... throw it came back down. It came back down.
Did it?
I heard it. I swear I heard
it. Clunk? They didn't find it. It didn't. They didn't get it, Harry.
I swear I heard it.
Where did Fallen die? Because he had one in that round.
Spongy's got a hell of a throwing arm, man. A career in what the Americans would call football if all of this, doesn't work out for him.
Oh, so you mean Sakaru?
No.
Oh, rugby.
Yeah, rugby.
Listen, I'm a bona fide football fan. I even adapted to calling it soccer while I lived out there.
Wow.
Still
Took one
slip
for the team.
occasionally. Yeah, I mean, it excludes me from Tea with the Queen, but
That's the final quiz on the green card, Richard.
yeah, I know, right? Well, I don't want one now. I'm back in the UK, so
Yeah, so
anyone
that's why you
calling it-
said, yeah, exactly. You said football there, you got sent back. Like, sorry,
Yeah.
you didn't pass.
Yeah. That is the standard for deportation now. You know? It was just there I was in a bar. I was watching Newcastle play football the other day.
Get him.
Yeah.
What is about?
Oh.
It was a timeout from Bad News Bears, half by. So maybe they just wanted to try and reset it a little bit. I was actually just gonna call it before as well. I feel like it was getting to a point where it was running away from Bad News Bears a little bit. Sure, maybe they had a game plan coming into it, but you can tell like it is just a liquid wall at the moment. So getting a timeout, let's reset a little bit. Let's talk about some options that we've seen so far. Even for this round, I mean, it's very much winnable. Alter with 1 HP, but PTR with 100. And it's a B-bomb plant.
I mean, Batman walks through a wall of liquid to get into his cave, so it couldn't be that hard, right? 2-on-1. Might finally be converting. ATR in the clutch, and he's got the kill. Nice stuff. That's a force win as well, or a half by rather. Alter finding 3 kills in it, so 1 HP, not a deterrent. And there we go. Sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, it's a best case for Bad News Bears as well. To your point, right, it was a half buy, so with that win, they get a really good buy here coming into round number 8. Liquid has done a really good job so far on their CT side. We can see it even looking at the little underneath best of threes. There's no bomb plants for Bad News Bears. Or rather, you know, it's all elimination, so it just comes to show how dominant Liquid has been. The ones that they've won haven't even needed to defuse the bomb.
Oh, and Fallen's escape route is available as well. Instead of going back into mid where he'd be trapped, he can escape through B. He's getting hounded, but it doesn't matter because there it is. No one else in the apartment. Naf and Grim both get a mid kill, and Fallen's out of there like a light. Jonji, no opportunity to trade. And so a 2-on-3 ensues with a good bit of util. You've got, well, one of everything, really. So Bad News Bears.
Round started promising there, Hugo. You know, PTR gets that early pick. And then, you know, they're putting pressure on Fallen. You don't want Jonji chasing you, I'll tell you that for free. But he's able to get out and probably going to close the round now. He's in pole position as Jonji's health chips away.
Oh,
yeah, well.
no. Oh.
It's okay. It's all okay for Liquid.
Either way, Fallen's looking sick. Want to throw that out there. He's had so many opening kills, or like, you know, early
You
round
touched on that
kills.
point before we went live, right? And listen, I'll always be honest. There's no room for lies on a Richard Lewis broadcast. He was really struggling on an individual level performance-wise with the AWP, let alone with rifles, which, let's be fair, when you are one of the goated AWPers of all time in the game, doesn't really matter if you have a rifle backup. It's nice, but not everyone gets to be a phenomenal hybrid player. Being a phenomenal AWPer, turns out that'll send you pretty far in this game. But unfortunately, he wasn't hitting his shots. He looked really out of sorts. Now, he's worked on his individual level of play, is starting to come back on the AWP, and has added the rifle, which is the interesting component to it. So I agree. Whatever Fallen's been doing training-wise on a personal level, he's actually now a player you can rely on the server, not just an IGL.
And here's another shout out as well, maybe not to Fallen, but we talked about this day one actually, and we even discussed it a little bit briefly today when we talk about Triumph maybe being the farmer team of some sorts. Elish does some really cool stuff now on his YouTube. If you are an aspiring CS player that wants to get better and improve, check it out. He does some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Learn from the best.
No, all of Liquid have been far more active on the socials, right? Maybe somewhat influenced by Fallen, but yeah.
It's one of the biggest crimes
content
in our scene, guys. You've got, you know, I've been saying this to players for years. Robin can testify to this. You all should have a YouTube channel. You all should have a Twitch channel. You all should have all the socials. And
I mean, I can speak about this a little bit. You know, like when I started, when we started playing. I mean, back when I first started playing, obviously social media didn't exist. But when NIP was made, it wasn't necessarily that we were forced to get one, but it was never really explained to us why we needed it. And you know, the educational portion of it, of like to Richard's point of the streaming, the YouTubes and stuff like that. As a player, you're like, well, I just want to play the game. But, you know, when you ask the question, what are you going to do when you retire? Very few people can answer that. Maybe some people tend to just go with the quick approach. I'll just be a streamer, expecting that to be easy. It's not. But building your brand while you are a player, that's where you will get the most, you know, fans. Once you retire, you're a has-been, right? So you want to be mindful of that as you're an active player. You continue that on. Whatever you decide to do after you're done playing, build yourself a brand, give yourself some more opportunities. Don't let, you know, your potential pro career only be for a few years and then you're done. Make something out of it.
Great advice.
Not only that, right? I think now more than ever, you know, not everyone can be, you know, your Forests, your Get Rights, your Fallens, where they have like years of history, right? We're in an era where it's like a changing of the guard, especially over in NA. And so I think to add some more personality to you as an individual or to your team, right? Streaming only helps to that end, right? It lets people feel like they get to know you because you're not going to show up and, you know, when Fallen's in the server, everyone's going, oh, this guy, you know, he led Brazil to not one but two majors. This guy, like, redefined an era of CS. Like, he's got so much to talk about. We already know loads about Fallen because it's hard not to, right, if you've even remotely existed close to CS in the last few years. But then if you look on, like, the other side of the screen, well, you look at someone, let's say, like Alter. I could not tell you a thing about this guy outside of, you know, his competitive history. Whereas I know a good deal about Fallen and like his personal life, where he's come from, what he's like.
Not everyone's going to be a major winner.
Yeah, and to that point then, right, Harry? Like, that's why, like, events like Beyond the Summit is great, because it's a little bit more casual, right? That's why we used to have players on the couch, show some personality, because I think the one thing that you don't get from other events, or like the proper events, is even the interviews are very centric about the game, right? So you don't even get to learn anything about the player itself there either. So absolutely, I agree with that completely.
Yeah. I know this has been a long rant, but I have one more point to make just following this. One thing that I really like the players don't do enough that Elite just started doing, like, you know, it's one thing putting out awesome content, but it's actually super easy as a pro to put out good content. All you need to do is start shadow playing your highlights. You know, Elite started uploading, you know, that Deagle ace he got on Vertigo and other highlights just from his perspective. It's just a shadow play clip or whatever program you're using, and you get to see, you know, what the player sees. You know, when you're watching a pro game, you see X-ray, you see the minimap, you know, everything that's going on. You're like, wow, how do you not know he was there? When you actually watch a demo or you watch a shadow play of a pro, you realize how little info they have. You also see the team comms, which is awesome. You don't get as a casual viewer, you don't get nearly enough idea on you know, team comms, what players are saying to each other, you know, how they structure you know, in a scrim or in a prac or in a match, right? So I think that is really cool content, seeing POV videos. I think Brokey's done a few of them.
Well, I've got the best idea for content, right? And I want to say it on this broadcast because even though someone might steal my idea, at least there'll be a VOD that proves it was my idea first. And funnily enough, it involves Fifth Lauren. So for about a year, I've been wanting to do CSGO Nightmares. And what it is, you take a demo of the worst performance of a player, and you sit down with the player and watch it and get them to explain them. You know, because sometimes you can have like a bad game perceptually, but actually what's going through your mind or what you're doing for the team might not be known, right? And I was going to make Robin the first guy. It was just kind of like finding time to ask him with everything he's been doing.
I mean, I would love to. I think it's super cool. I have two examples, actually. I have one, the Katowice VP, obviously in the final, but I also have the semi-final in the Cologne major we won, especially on the map Cobblestone. Apex was having a field day with me in the A hallway, and I did nothing. Like, I can't believe we won that game, honestly. I said it in the interview with Red Eye right after. I said, like, I was obviously a bot, but that's a really cool idea, Richard. There's obviously been some names out there, you know, the Smiths and the Tacos. Like,
well, I've already listed the top 10 kind of worst performances at big events, and so.
Nice. Wait, am I top one? I should be. I think you're only on there once, actually.
Who's up there? Out of interest.
I should be top one with the.
I need to pull the list now. I could certainly get it for you, but
Robin was a good guy to start with though, because there's a lot you could choose from there, right?
Yeah, like, no, you're right. Here's the thing. It's funny, right? Because obviously it happens during a major final, and yeah, sure, he should be talked about, right? in terms of rating, Olaf Meister also has a series like that. It's 742 or something.
Yeah.
He was sick at that time, but yeah, there's been some. I would be very interested, Richard, if you were to find more games like that.
Yeah, I want to sit
maybe
down with
it's
like a
not just
video editor and do
frag-wise,
like
but I
awesome
think it'd
sort
be
of
super
like
cool.
production for it as well, you know. So it's like evergreen content. And yeah, so there you go. That's what I'm going to work on. I think next project.
Wow.
CS:GO Nightmares. You heard about it?
Okay,
here
listen,
first.
I started this rant, but we do have a game, and bad news
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's not
They
just
want
the
a
Liquid
round.
show versus 5 players. Bad news players, they're definitely in this second round on the board for them, and we have to note as well. The reason why I say it is because Liquid's money is pretty bad. So potential comeback 9-2 if we do a good job here with winning this round. It has the potential 10-5, 9-6. Definitely a possibility.
Oh, the Fallen Flash got dodged it. Now he's committed. Now he's stuck in, and he's only going to get one. Shooting the deep player before the first man in doesn't leave him much time to react. Bomb planted, but a man down. Stewie's on the fast flank, and we've got late rotates coming from that A site. Stewie's given away his position, but he can smoke this molly and go right through. It's a classic play from Stewie 2K. He's in no hurry, though, letting his team get set up, and PTR shuts it down. Now this retake just got a lot harder, but PTR's eaten a bullet from the scout. Naf coming up short side. Elige has to do it all, but he's so low. He's lost his other market teammate. And yeah, maybe that money might finally come into play.
Just solely because Elige obviously very low, sure, it's still winnable. Oh my god, because the silencer, I say that it's still winnable. No time yet, no kit on Naf. I'm sure it's somewhere. But even with that in mind, obviously there's a lot of damage being done there by Naf, so good job on him. I mentioned it solely because Liquid, we talked about their money not in the best of shapes. Only needing 1 eco though, so it's not a double.
And I mean, they saved the orb, so you can still win a round with a solo orb for sure. Naf is 14-5, or sorry, 16-5 now, so that's pretty gnarly. He's going to keep the orb as well. He has got armor. Fallen didn't want to reinvest at 17. He's just got a smoke instead. So here we go. Can Naf win the round on his own? Where is he? Sat back in mid. Dropping under with that smoke, but no one's in mid. It's a full AX. Great call from Bad News Bears in a round like this. They know they're versus pistols. Sure, there could be an A stack, but that's going to cut the AWP out. There's no way the AWP plays in front of the smokes. It's going to have to respect them. So Naf is pushing top mid, and meanwhile this A play is coming in. That's awkward. You don't want to lose Palace. Then it's a lot harder. Spongy holding on, does get dinged, but recovers well, and the pistols are getting cleaned up. 2v3. Naf still making it interesting, but he's put down after the nade, and PTR saves the day.
Very costly. But yeah, at this stage, right, round is a round, we take that. We know Liquid will be buying next round anyway. But with that, look at the damage that Liquid did, forcing Spongy on the Galil. Alter, sure AK, but no, not a full set of nades. (9-4). Last 3 rounds have gone on the way up for Bad News Bears, so lovely comeback so far. It's a fast catwalk play here for Alter. And I wonder if Elige ends up spawning him. Should at least be aware that it's a possibility. Oh wow, I was gonna say a lot of nades being thrown here. It's not really a proper execute. We're just walking forward slowly but surely. And quick entries for Bad News Bears. Alter with 2 kills to his name, and that's another save round for Liquid. 9-5 with a pretty bad potential last round for Liquid. They really want to save these weapons, but John G starting connector, waiting for him. Fallen goes down, leaving only Grim.
Yeah, that's you know, it's a nice recovery out of Bad News Bears, because the odds are they 6-9 this half now, breaking the money of Team Liquid as we head into round 15, only getting out of this with a FAMAS on Grim. Yeah, that's anything but ideal. he will get away with it. That's at least something. He could drop another Famus into play. You'd be spoilt for choice. A whole little family, almost, of Famuses. Grim, you going to drop one? No, he's just keeping the 2900, getting the utility with it. Going to be the man with the kit as well. But that's the
Man,
only
not
kit
even buying
in
an
this
eagle
round.
or anything? Come on, Grim. Last round. We'll see. The Famuses have not been pretty to people this event, I'll say that much. We'll say we have seen it more and more though. Yeah, he definitely didn't need the pistol there. Went for a aggressive round in Palace.
That's because the Famus is absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Well, there was like you could have had 2 kits in this round. You could have had a lot more than what you do, and
He ran away
you,
with that. Have to go Palace now to get it.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. Then you die Palace with the only kit, so Fallen's had to go and retrieve it. He's now stuck up in Palace. This round has gotten kind of needlessly messy. Let's see if the individuals are going to be able to dig Liquid out. Stewie only got 2 bullets left in the Famus, and wrapped by Swisher, who's there to put 6 on the board for Bad News Bears. All in all, right, considering how one-sided this game was to begin, this is a nice little recovery. So maybe there's a little more mileage in this game yet. Join us for that second half of this first map after a break. Don't go anywhere, or do, but please don't.
After a strong start from Team Liquid, it looks like Bad News Bears have awoken from their hibernation on their map pick. Let's see what happens in the second half.
Yeah, that's a really good comeback from Bad News Bears. I feel like that's Liquid also maybe feeling it was a little bit too easy at starts, and were some questionable plays at the end. Bad News Bears takes advantage of it. Swapping over to that CT side, it's only John G with nades, no kit. So let's keep that in mind for a potential retake. It has to go pretty snappy.
Well, speed is the name of the game. I say that they start walking in B, but they are about to explode. Fallen's got a little flasheroo here. And no, he doesn't. He's going to go for the smoke instead. So it's archside smokes here for Liquid. That's going to cut out Jonji from this round more likely than not, leaving no anchor player on B. 4-man A stack, it's going to have to be this retake, and they've not planned for this contingency. No kit in this round is a bit of an awkward one. Jonji smoke is laughed at as Liquid take B. They cut off everything. The Marcus smoke even lands in the window.
Hugo.
Yeah.
No kit now, remember, 1 flash, and he goes down with it. Can still pick it up, Alter does.
Ooh, nice from
we're gonna need more of that,
Spongy.
though.
Leash with the response, and Stewie fighting up close comes to regret it. Ooh, bit more damage done from the short side. It's a Liege caught out in the open. Nafly. Oh, the brain on this guy. The wrap round. And Liquid, they sniped that pistol round away, up on a 10. Naf looking as dynamic and beautiful as ever. I love his hair at the minute, man. Naf's looking real good. As he had his eyebrows done as well. His eyebrows are looking sharp. Hugo, has he?
I don't know, Harry.
I'll get right on that, Harry. I'm going to send an email across to Liquid Management right now and just...
I'm ringing his barber as we speak. But yeah, nice start for Nav. I mean, he's been all over this game, right? 19, and I can't read the number, but it's single digits, maybe 8. Yeah, very small.
Well,
Not dying much. But Stewie, on the other end of the deagle, well, he's up to 12. Either way, Liquid are just hanging about in middle. Don't want to lose to the Force. That can make this half very scary.
Yeah, and it's entries like that as well that sucks if you're T, because you're not even hitting a bomb site right, then you lose a kill and you can still hit it. This is very early in the round and you just lose a member. So for Liquid, decide to just, hey, let's just group up in mid instead. We have a guy that's holding B apps for a potential push. Make our way through Catwalk instead. Could be another dangerous 1D here though from Swisher.
Oh, the spam up close. He gets 2. That could be his Jonji, the molly, and he looks away as a Liege pulls the trigger. 2 on 3, and a chance yet for Liquid. The molly's going to cause problems in the market. One runs out, and a Liege is here to knock him down like bowling pins, but he only gets 1. Now Grim with the spare, back to the pistol, and he loses the round. So you hate to see that, but nice stuff for Bad News Bears. A couple of whiffed shots. Spongy on his ex-teammate, no less.
There you go. I told you. See?
Well,
do my homework on these things, Hugo. Been known to do a little bit of research before a broadcast.
Bears in hibernation don't defecate, so clearly they've woken up a little bit, right? They just shit all over them with the Eagles.
That is true, mate.
Try to work in some biology here and there.
Well, you know, we've done nuclear physics, biology, loads of topics to work in. Just not Counter-Strike. Let's just not work any of that in and annoy the chat more.
Let's talk about social media, guys.
Yeah.
Let's talk about brick and mortar businesses making a comeback in the post-COVID world.
Let's talk about paint and drying and why watching it is just so exciting.
Man, I love it. I love it. Like, you put the paint on. Shit, what's happening now?
It just does the rest for you, man.
It's getting a little drier. Ain't looking so wet up in here. Look at this. Falling out in top mid. He's got himself a scout. Mid controls taken. Liquid. Honing their sights on a bomb site soon, you'd imagine. And I tell you what, if they flew straight like a Yarrow up in through this A bomb site, they'd only run into one man here, Spongy.
See what you did there, Harry. I was going to mention as well, one of the things we have seen during phase 2 is these force buys, but one of the things we see more and more in Europe is that what Liquid just did. Elish, he drops an AK, he gets a Deagle back, but you essentially have a much stronger buy on some of these Liquid players. These guys are the ones that's taking the reins, right? Having only, for example, the potential Deagle player at the end will pick up the weapon, but look at this. B bomb site now completely open. It's a rebuy from Liquid, gets the bomb down previous. Sure, it's a Bad News Bears round, but you tend to buy back after, or if you lose a round like that, and Liquid does just that. And in situations like these for CTs, it's such a tough spot to be in, because you look at the CT money now, it's not great. Conversation now starts just because the fact you won the previous round. Your money loss bonus is also not great, so yep, this could be 50-50 depending on the situation. You could just do a save here, but like I said, for next round you wouldn't have this strong of a buy. So for Bad News Bears, they opt to buy here again. Very swingy here early on in the second half. Another default. One of these rounds of Bad News Bears won 2 rounds ago, and it's from John G's 1D, and kind of opened up the round, having forcing Liquid rather to group up and head towards Catwalk. Swisher with 2. We do kind of see the same round as we saw down for Liquid. It's a bit slower, and no damage have been dealt so far. About to go down on 1 minute.
Nasty. Well, that's the same as last time, right, Robin? The man up, no trade on that. Liquid.
Yeah. I think the only difference here is the Stu is in connector, right? So, but they kind of do end up going to the same. This helps them a little bit with Stu getting the 1. Would have liked to see him getting a second one, but with PTR only here, he does get a tag, falls back, and oh man, yeah.
Oh! Damn! Just Naf, but he's been full of clutches today, hasn't he?
Not
this
today,
round,
though. Not this time. Oh, my word. Look at Pete there. He's dancing. I haven't seen him move like that in a while.
Sick round.
Yeah. And you're going to see that. I mean, we saw Fallen hit a brilliant shot with the Scout, right? Scout definitely going to be a factor in these force buys for sure.
Yeah. Timeout from Liquid. Didn't get the bomb down that round, so maybe there is some sort of a conversation. We wouldn't be seeing this that strong of a buy as we saw the previous one with dropped AKs. They would end up buying here, probably Deagle full utility. So they want to talk about it. See if one of these two teams can manage to string some rounds together. Be on Bad News Bears this time around. We'll see the replay here again. I mean, the second one is nasty. No, we'll see an AK buy instead. So very little utility for Liquid this round. Vibe at odds still has Liquid as clear favorites though.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what is worrying, you know, Bad News Bears, if they win one round and you know, win out these force buy wars, but then they'd be at 11-9, suddenly, right, an eco round looming, it's 10-11, and you're right back on track to tie this game up. When you think about how one-sided it was early on, right, this is a great recovery out of the Bad News Bears.
To flip that, Harry, if Liquid wins this round, it could be 16-8.
That's true, but you know, something tells me, right, if they win it, we just see the force buy wars carry on, man, and then at that point, you know, it's still just as scuffed. Let's see. Let's see what happens. A little bit of mid-control taken. Elige has got this flashbang to try and get the boys up into con. They've got the control they were looking for, and Naf is going to open the round up with that kill there onto Alter. Now they spill out Connector up into the A-bomb site, and it's Fallen and Nafly working in tandem to strip players out of the ranks of Bad News Bears. Just Swisher and Jonji. Somehow this is a 2-on-4, a very, very clean round for Liquid looking to come in. And they're keeping it that way. This Rat Brown is here as the fail-safe, and Stewie, the man to finish the job, is 12-8, and maybe you were right all along, Robin.
No, because that's what I mean, right? So it's going to come down to who strings the rounds together. Because let's say it's Liquid now this time around. We'll see. Yeah, PTR buy, so it's another full buy, right? So it's going to make it 13-9. Liquid now then, or Bad News Bears on a double save, would make it match points. So it's actually a very sloppy buy here from Bad News Bears. Very risky, I would say. Because you would make it potentially having a very weak buy for that potential match point.
Well, that's planning for success, right? Rather than planning for failure. As much as you should take failure into account.
Sure, but you always want to talk about anyway, because like you have to think about a little bit ahead. You can't just always talk about the round right now, because when you then get to a point where Liquid has 14 rounds, so you have no money, and you're then forced to make a decision: do we save now and make it tie and have a shit round, or buy for next, or do we just save now, sure the round sticks away, but we have a much more safer buy for the potential later stages of the rounds.
We'll see how it pans out. Right now, this force isn't doing them any favors. Oh, the Scout is so close. It even hit Fallen on that initial cross, but he's not going to be hard-pressed to find more, you'd think. Swisher, we know he's a Deeg player. He likes an M4 as well, and he's already found the first kill on this retake. Not today, though. Grim locks him out. And PTR, what a shot. Has given Alter a gun to play with. He's going to go find his own primary weapon if there's an upgrade, but Stewie won't let that happen, so Alter looks to save. It's going to be 13-8, and yeah, now we're in that rough water that you were talking about. Taking an eco, buying at 14, or the double eco if they want to be extra safe. Although I imagine they'll buy at 14.
Yeah, exactly. So when you do that, right, you're going to even look at the money now. You're not going to have an AWP on PTR. No. You're going to have FAMAS with utility for that round, right? And then leading into that, you're you're buying obviously because you want to win the map, but what happens the next round after that? You're completely broke, right? They go round hitting to 15. So it's definitely a discussion point, right? Especially the way that this half started. But in terms of that economy, and in terms of the way that the new system kind of works, it is a very risky buy. But I can see why they do it, right? It's just a bunch of swing rounds.
Oh, brutal flash from Stewie. And now the double up push. Grim's here to deal with it. Nice. Oh, I was going to say easy round. PTR makes things questionable again, but Spongy, surely not more than one here with the USP. Drops the bomb, Stewie trades, and PTR so far with low health. And even look at Naf here to maybe get a knife, but not crazy. 14-8, and keeping it casual for Liquid. They've not really been pressured. There was a bit of a comeback near the end of the first half, but that was maybe Liquid letting off the gas. And with those force buys often coming through, they often favor T sides, right? Liquid win them out eventually. And now it's the bitter end, the final buy before it all comes up Liquid.
You gotta love what we're getting out of Keith right now. Keith is Naf, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to call him that because we're friends.
Sure.
You gotta love what we're getting out of him right now. 111 ADR,
Yeah.
topping the charts. I love it when Nafly shows up. I really, really do. And he's someone who kind of can do it all, right? Like if you want an AWP player who can don that AWP, he can do it. If you want a pliable rifler, he's your man. You want someone to hold outside nuke with an AUG from back garage? Call up Naf.
Yeah, and
That's
he's had
why,
clutches.
Yeah, that's why he got the nickname. Can't remember which summit it was. It was from Stunna. Nasty ass Naf.
That sounds right. Okay, look at this A stack. BNB, they've done this a couple of times. This time it will pay off, or it should pay off. They've got the numbers in the right place. Swisher hears this play, and PTR spots the AWP and Con on that second jump after taking out Grim. He knows what's coming. They're flooding through, but Swisher's there to deal with them. M4 in hand, and never been more ready for the job. Oh, he actually misses the jump, and he still wins a fight on another swing, dropping the bomb. 2 on 5. BNB saving themselves here if they can close it, but maybe I'm speaking too soon.
Yeah, they don't know about this third man up in the A site, right? They only know about 2 of them. Fallen might get caught looking away. Swisher, very, very well timed on that push. He hears Fallen. He hears him going up the stairs. He knows he's trying to help his player out at ramp. And so Swisher peaks that on a perfect timing. You know, things were about to go from bad to worse. As I say, they only knew where 2 out of the 3 players were. In reality, it was a double dark setup for Bad News Bears. So that would have been tricky to turn in your favor if you're Liquid. Losing the bomb in jungle, huge problem. Swisher, the man to deliver those kills. All right, Bad News Bears. All right, lads, maybe there's still a chance. Stewie's got a big jug on the go. Look at him getting stuck into that.
That's a small
Slurp
in
it
American
up.
size.
Yeah.
Margarita, of course.
He's
I
blended
said it
his
was a milkshake.
pizza.
Yeah,
has he?
that's a whole margarita pizza in there, blended up.
Nice.
Extra cheese, hold the sauce.
I was, of course, referring to the cocktail and
Yeah,
not
well.
the bread-based food from Italy. But
Why'd you have to
One-
intro it like it's Eds?
but once again, Harry and Hugo have bested me at my own game of wordplay.
Well, if you can't join him, beat him. Oh, Alta. Oh, no. It was,
he's getting beat.
I thought he was going to push through mid at least. That felt like his only option, but he does live. That's something. Although on the edge of death. Hospitalized right now. 14-9. Liquid down a man. This can be double digits for BNB. Hanging on. After that one rifle round that's kept them in it. Another A split. Late is Grim, and oh, Naf catches him, backing up CT. There's a double entry. The AWP only gets a leg. Bomb is open plant. PTR. Oh, it's cancelled as well. They're getting all the kills. Forget the plant. Frag out. Liquid have got them all. Only PTR trapped in spawn, locked out by a Liege, but he will get that shot, enabling his escape if he wants. But He's here. He's here for everything. He's here for the clutch, the 1-on-4. Oh. Not today. 15-9, Liquid. It's their playground right now. They're having fun with it. It's BNB's map pick. Inferno is next. And it might not be far away if Liquid get their way.
No, especially now with the economy now for Bad News Bears. PTR. He's been really good on the scout. I'm surprised we don't see that again. There's a Farmas instead, but 3 Deagles and 2 Farmases. Utility at least, but oh, Swisher's pretty late on that. It's a good spawn from Fallen. Gets himself an entry.
Nothing worse than getting like misinfo ramp here. It might not matter because he's going to die, but pushing ramp when there's a Palace Lurk and then rotating out of A as a result. But really, the Palace Lurk is just the prerequisite to an A split through connector. This is a gamble. I like this call for BNB. Given the situation, they're going to move everyone together and hope the Liquid come their way. Usually, this is a play that if they come your way, you kill them all. If they don't, then you save. But there's no saving here against Map Point, and Liquid aren't coming their way either. So it's gone from bad to worse. And this should be the closer.
Yeah, Liege is about to uncover the stack. Now, how does a guy like a Liege deal with this information?
Oh,
Liege, baby, you saw one in the market.
They're
He
leaving.
hears them. Ooh. Oh, there's the lineup. Too good an opportunity to miss for a guy like a Liege. And that leaves it all on Jonji. Remarkable little Jonji down here in lower. Just one man and a big round on his shoulders. But he only has small shoulders. It's important to remember because he's a small man. And Jonji, well, can he find any more? That's the question we all really want to know right now, I guess. Jonji, bombs ticking away. Interesting technique. Flash, blind, and he's out of the round. Liquid, they take it. They take this map in a pretty dominant fashion, right? They get onto that T side. There's some force by wars. There's the old back and forth, but ultimately Liquid see it through to the end. Now we get ready for that second map of Inferno where things are sure to be lights out. Join us for that in just a moment. Don't I catch you going anywhere?